Hi everyone, it's Maddie Mackey here. I'm coming on today to talk about some things that I've seen and heard out in the world and the reality that comes into play when you are raising a daughter or have a daughter on the way or have some influence on another young woman in the world and know that things can get a little crazy when you're a woman in this culture, and knowing that we can all be a positive influence for the younger generations to really help instill confidence and love and self-love and self-care and self-respect and all these really important things into them. So it's been on my mind a lot lately, obviously, because I'm expecting a daughter, but also just from what I see like out in the world. And there's two situations I wanted to bring up. The first is we'll start with today, actually, what kind of like triggered me coming on to this. There was this little girl at a coffee shop, and I was at this diner coffee shop this morning for breakfast, and she was sitting with her dad, and they were just eating at the bar, it was whatever, and I was next to them. And then the dad brought up, hey, so I'm hoping like we'll be able to see each other a little bit more, and I'm gonna be able to like have you more days of the week. And this girl's probably like between 8 and 10, so she probably doesn't quite understand, you know, the circumstances of like what that means, and obviously they're co-parenting and whatever. And he's talking about how he's gonna get a place where she can come more, and it'll be better for her, a better environment for her. She's just eating, asked for some honey for her fruit, you know, just doing her damn thing. Then you can just hear, you know, in the dad, and I, you know, was probably staring a little too much, but could just feel his energy of just like the struggle, the internal struggle of being a dad to this girl in this society, knowing that like he wants to spend more time with her, but there are complications, and that reality is something in existence that he has to comply with. There's this other mother, and so then he starts talking to the little girl about going and getting her some new earrings today, or taking her to the pumpkin patch, and she's getting all excited and, you know, not realizing that there's this whole like underlying like root, like holy shit thing that's probably going on between these parents. And it just made me think like, oh man, like how do we educate our children, how do we support them in these situations when they would rather just go get a pair of earrings or go to the pumpkin patch, you know? Like, how do we talk to children about these things in safe ways, in about all sorts of things, but specifically like this co-parenting thing in safe ways without totally traumatizing them? So that's something that's on my mind. And then a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago, I'm at an ice cream shop, and this little girl asks her mom, we're just again like sitting at the little ice cream bar eating, and she turns to her mom and goes, "Mom, is love scary?" And the mom just goes, "No." It was like, she's like, "No, honey, keep eating." And I could not stop thinking about like, where did this girl get this question formulated in her mind to think that love is scary? And then I started thinking about love to me. What is love? Is it scary? And I started thinking of all the moments where I've been like scared shitless due to love. And, you know, depending on like a partner I was with, or a fear I had with a partner, or something like that. And I'm like, how do we talk to kids about love and relationships? The things that can be scary, and the fear of losing someone, or the fear of abandonment, or, you know, abusive relationships, or things that can really become like scary realities in our life. I'm speechless. I'm really, really, really speechless, because I'm not sure how to approach these things. But all I know is that we can lead by example. All I know is that the more we like hide and cover up the bad things from the children, the more that they're going to be so shocked when they become adults and have to face them on their own. So I think exposure is super important with children, not like exposure to like insane trauma, but not necessarily that, but exposure to conflict, exposure to disagreement, exposure to problem solving and conflict resolution is important, so they can see that these things are likely to come up in life, but as responsible parents, they're able to handle it. Or realizing when your child asks, is love scary, diving a little deeper and ask, like, I get it, it's like a school night and you're tired and you need to go to bed or whatever, but why is your child asking that? Like, let's really ask them, oh, like, why would you think that? Before we say yes or no, let's see what the root is. And maybe it's just some like silly thing they saw on like a Disney show that is more irrelevant, but maybe it's a story that they heard from a friend at school that is a violent, scary story, and now they're confused and they're not sure, what is love? Is it safe? Is it scary? Or do I want it? Am I going to disassociate from it? Am I going to over associate and overindulge in it? So these are where the traumas begin. The point that I'm trying to make here is, these are the situations in our life that when we're 30, 20, 50, 40, whatever, that we're feeling these triggers and we're like, oh my God, now I have to dive back 20, 30, 40, 50 years into the past to visit this little being of myself that was traumatized and was not explained things to and was not held, did not have the space held for, and I have to really help heal her. And that's great. It's wonderful that all these healing modalities exist. However, I think if we were a little more invested in the children, a little more invested in fostering their emotional maturity instead of sheltering them from everything, if we really spent a little more time and a little more energy invested in showing them the way and leading by example instead of doing one thing and telling them to do another, just saying my way or the highway, like this is what I say, this is what we do. If we actually took the time to explain and show them the path, show them the two directions that the fork in the road could take them, but not send them down the wrong fork, say this is what this one looks like, this is what the end of this one looks like, this one might be harder to take, but let's really do this together, I'll hold your hand and do it with you, I think will really foster the new generation of like awakened beings and children who are willing to start doing the work in the moment of when a trauma is happening, or in the moment when something's coming up that they're confused about and don't understand, and then it just doesn't become a programming in their life and in their mind and in their brain for the rest of their lives until they have to unpack it due to the fact that they can't establish a healthy relationship, or due to the fact that they are seeing themselves in traumatic situations and whatnot. So I'm so glad I got this out because I've been thinking about it for so long, and I mean, I don't know, it just kind of aligns with all the generational healing work and trauma work and inner child work that I do. And I think the more we foster these younger generations to be emotionally responsible and accountable, the less bullshit they're gonna have to deal with when they're adults. And they can continue to have fun, be young, be innocent, be children, but also be emotionally intelligent and mature. So here is my spiel on it. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message. You can find me on Instagram at MaddieMM, that's MaddieMM, and stay tuned for new updates. You can sign up for my email list on riseaboveyoga.com, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.